guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige. This is my open book, and today we are going to be doing what I promised, and we're actually going to do kind of like a TBR. So I'm putting my own twist on it. I'm just going to do like a summer reading bucket list, and these books are going to last me for the whole season of summer. So I'm thinking like June, July, maybe like the beginning of August-ish. And I've got about 27 books on this list. I actually made this like a wish list on Amazon. That's how I like to keep track of my TBR. So I'm gonna link this down below so that if you want to take part in this summer bucket list challenge with me, then you can access all the books that I plan to read this season. I'm gonna go through them kind of quickly. This is just to give you a brief overview of what each book is about. Obviously, as I read them, I'm still gonna do like monthly wrap-ups at the end of every month so that you'll know which ones I actually read, which ones I liked, which ones I didn't like, all that kind of stuff. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's chat about some books. You're gonna notice a theme with all of these books. I am definitely in the summer mood. So all of these books are somehow tied to the season of summer, whether they take place in summer or they just give me like vacation vibes, having to do with the ocean, you know, that kind of theme. So we're gonna start with the book I've already started, and I'm currently reading this on my phone. This is A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley. Now this is a dark Little Mermaid retelling. That should be all I have to tell you, but I'm gonna give you a little bit more because I'm already halfway through this book and I love it. Like, imagine Jack Sparrow and Ariel had a steamy, passionate night together. Like, this book is their love child. I am gonna give you some lines from this book that I've highlighted, just, you know, just because. She's mad. This woman is pure madness. She needs to be locked up. She's dangerous and wild and unsafe, and yet how is it that I've never been so delighted before? You are a stunning abyss of a creature, I tell her, one that I could spend eons swimming in and never get to the bottom of. Oh, stop it. Okay, next on my list is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you watch my May wrap-up, you'll know that I am obsessed with Taylor Jenkins Reid right now. I've already read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six. Both of those were 5-star reads for me, so I really hope I like this one. I've seen mixed reviews about this one though, so I'm a little nervous, but this is totally giving summer vibes. I mean, look at that cover. All I know about it is that it's some kind of family drama, and obviously it takes place in Malibu. That's really all I know about it, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, next up, so I have actually never read anything by Emily Henry, and she's definitely one of the like most popular authors right now in the romance genre. And her new book just came out called Happy Place. So this was already on my summer bucket list. This one is more like a relationship in trouble or like a second chance romance kind of thing. And they've been broken up for about 6 months, I think. But their friend group is supposed to have like their last hurrah at this lake house, and they don't want their friends to know that they're broken up. They don't want to kill the vibe of the summer vacation. So they're gonna pretend like they're still together and see how it goes. So I'm excited for that one. But I noticed that a lot of Emily Henry's books have like the same summery vibe. So I'm also planning on reading Beach Read, which this one is about two authors. I think this is like an opposites attract romance, because I think she's a romance author and then I think he writes, I don't really know, probably like horror or something, maybe like thrillers or something. I think in the blurb it said something like all of his characters end up getting killed all the time. So I think they're both in a writing slump, so they like challenge each other to write each other's genres or something like that. I don't know, it seems like it might be fun, and obviously it takes place on the beach, so it's on my summer reading bucket list for sure. And the last one by Emily Henry I plan on reading this summer is People We Meet on Vacation. So this one I think is about two friends that have been friends like for years, and every summer is when they go on vacation together. Yeah, two best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. So I'm excited to read all three of these books. We'll see if Emily Henry is worth the hype. I have a feeling I'm gonna like Happy Place the most. That's my prediction. I think I'm gonna like Happy Place, then People We Meet on Vacation, because that's friends to lovers. And then I think Beach Read is gonna be the third one for me. But we'll see. We'll see if my predictions are accurate. Okay, next up, this is another really popular one that I'm surprised I haven't read yet because I love Christina Lauren, and this book is The Unhoneymooners. So this one is supposed to be like enemies to lovers, and I think like they go like a destination wedding of some kind, but everyone gets food poisoning except for them. So they are the ones who have to go on the honeymoon, and they have to do, of course, all these things together, but they hate each other. And, you know, I just heard it's a really good time. And obviously, you know, it gives like the tropical vibes that I'm definitely in the mood for this summer. So we'll see how that one goes. Next is The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegmund Broca. So this is actually a male and female writing duo, and that's kind of what the story is about too. So it's about a writing duo that they used to be super successful, super popular years ago. Something happened, they had some kind of falling out, and now I think they're being tasked with writing something together again after all these years. So I guess like a second chance romance kind of thing, or maybe like enemies to lovers. I'm not really sure if they were together like romantically in the past also, or if it's just strictly like they worked together or something happened. So I don't know. Okay, next up, this one is definitely like more of a fluff story about a summer fling. This is by Adriana Locke. I feel like I've tried to read something by this author a long time ago, and I don't remember liking her, but I thought I would give this one a try because I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. And basically the female main character, her wedding gets canceled, so she's trying to find someone to go on the honeymoon with her so it doesn't go to waste. So I think this is like, I don't think it's just a stranger that she ends up taking. I think he's like an acquaintance of some kind, or like a friend of a friend or something like that. So they at least know each other prior to them going on this honeymoon together, but I guess they both agree to just have, you know, this summer fling. It says, fans of runaway brides, close proximity, one bed, and friends to lovers tropes will fall hopelessly in love with this fling to forever romance. Like, that just sounds so swoony. How can I say no to that? The next one is called The Romantic Agenda by Claire Can. Now, this one is kind of confusing from the blurb, so I think I'm understanding this correctly, but I could be wrong. Basically, the main character, her name is Joy, and she is secretly in love with her best friend named Malcolm. But I guess Malcolm is in love with somebody else. Joy, of course, is heartbroken because she loved this guy. And they're all on a weekend getaway together, I think with like 2 other friends or something like that. And I think Joy ends up getting with one of the other friends, Fox, who's like the ex-boyfriend of the girl that Malcolm is with now. Yeah, it sounds complicated, but I kind of like that it sounds kind of chaotic. I think that'll make it even more fun. But it sounds like Fox and Joy are trying to make Malcolm jealous, so they try to do like a fake dating kind of thing, but it turns into something more. So I don't know, I like how that one sounded different. It's not just the typical, you know, summer vacation formula romance. It seems a little bit different, and I like that. Okay, next up we have a book by Olivia Dade, which I read a couple of books by her and I did enjoy them. They weren't like 5-star top tier reads or anything like that, but they were really solid. This one, I think this is a he falls first, so I think he's been pining over her for a really long time, but she was always with somebody. And now she's not with that other guy anymore, so he feels like now is his time to swoop in. It sounds like they do like a fake dating kind of thing because she needs someone to go with her on this trip of some kind. They work together at the library, so I don't think she exactly sees him as like boyfriend material at first, but I imagine after the fake dating scenario things start to change between the 2 of them, and I don't know, it just seems like it would be a really good time. I love Olivia Dade's writing. Sometimes her books can be a little long, but this is this a novella? Oh my god, I didn't even know that. It says it's only 142 pages. I'll probably like this more than the others, because that was really my only thing with the other books I read by her, was that I feel like they were too long and drawn out. So this might be perfect. Next we have The Layover by Lacey Walden. So I've seen this on a lot of people's like underrated romance lists. The blurb even says, the unhoneymooners meets the hating game in this breezy debut romantic comedy about life and love 30,000 feet above the ground. So the female main character is a flight attendant, and the male main character he used to be a pilot, and they hate each other. So another enemies to lovers. What is it about summer and enemies to lovers, apparently? That seems to be the trend. You guys are going to be surprised that I have this on here. This is called Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. So if you read my May wrap up, you will know that I haven't had much luck with this author. I tried to read Haunting Adeline and I read Satan's Affair. I did not like Satan's Affair, and I DNF'd Haunting Adeline. So this could go really bad, but this totally gives me summer vibes. This is about a girl is on the run. So she's escaping something from her past. You don't really know what it is. And she ends up, I believe, like on an island, or like, I don't know. I think the male main character is like the lighthouse keeper or something like that. So she runs away. That's where she ends up. And I think they end up getting caught in a storm and they're like shipwrecked together or something like that. I don't know. I've heard this is dark, and there's supposedly a scene with sharks that I see everyone talking about. So I'll keep you posted on that. I do have a couple non-romance books in here because I wanted to try and break it up a little bit. So this one is called Prince of Song and Sea. This is a YA. And this is actually a Little Mermaid retelling, but it's from Eric's point of view. But I just thought it was interesting that this is going to be from Eric's point of view, because like you barely get his point of view in the original movie. And a big part of the reason why this is on my list is I actually just watched the new Little Mermaid movie in theaters last weekend, and I loved it. I loved it. If you haven't seen the new Little Mermaid yet, you have to. I highly recommend. I saw it in 3D in the theaters, and I felt like it just like made it like a whole event, and I loved it. Clearly Little Mermaid is my favorite. It's always been my favorite Disney movie since I was a little girl. So I had very high hopes for this movie, and it delivered. They put like extra stuff in there. And some of it was from Eric's point of view, and that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, is that we got more of Eric's backstory. So when I saw this book, I was like, oh, that's perfect. Now I get to see another take on it. Okay, next up, so this is a thriller. This is one of those like Reese Witherspoon's book club picks, but it's on Kindle Unlimited, and it totally gives me vacation vibes. This is called The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. So for this one, it sounds like the main character is tired of being a nobody, a plain invisible woman who blends into the background. She deserves more, a life of money and power, like the one blonde-haired, blue-eyed goddess Daphne Parrish takes for granted. So, I don't know, I've seen a lot of people like rave about this book, but again, I don't really know much about it. Like, I have no idea what ends up happening, how it ends up progressing, what makes it a thriller. I don't even know, but I thought this would be a cool one to add because I'm trying to branch out a little bit more and not only read romance all the time. So I thought this would be a good way to mix it up a little bit. So this was buy one get one half off at my local Barnes & Noble, and this is another book from the YA section. This is called Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. So let me just read this to you. It says, readers should rejoice because we now have a Lady Jack Sparrow on our hands. Yes, yes. Like, need I say more? Need I say more? So next up is The Devil in the Dark Water. This is by Stuart Turton, and I really liked his first book, which was The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. That book was really good. It was one of those like closed door, what do they call it? Locked room historical mystery. So the first book was like that, kind of like Agatha Christie or like Clue, you know, like those old mysteries where someone dies, you're trying to figure out who did it and when. And the first one was really good. I gave it 5 stars. And this is his second book, and this is basically the same kind of vibe. It's still a locked room historical mystery, but it takes place on a ship. Come on. Come on. Like, this is perfect. This is perfect for me. I can't wait to read that. Okay, next up, we're back to romance. This is called Our Scorching Summer by Kels and Denise Stone. So this is another Friends to Lovers, I believe. Here you go. This has a lot of the main tropes in there. Come on. Like, this just sounds like a great time. This just sounds like a great time. And I'm excited. I've never heard anyone talk about this book. I've never heard anyone talk about these authors before. This is totally new for me, but I don't know. I was really intrigued when I saw someone post this little image with all the tropes in it, and I'm excited. Next up is The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I've seen so many people rave about this on Instagram lately. Again, I don't know much about it, but it does say it's an angsty, second chance, forbidden romance. He was my boyfriend's best friend and the bane of my existence. That sounds like the best kind of tension, and I'm here for it. Okay, next is Do I Know You by Emily Liberly and Austin Sigmund Broca. Oh, this is the same authors as The Roughest Draft. I didn't even realize that when I put both of these books on here. Okay, cool. So I know this is a marriage in trouble, and it sounds like they go on a vacation somewhere and they pretend like they don't know each other just as like a game to like mix it up. It says, when the couple starts to feel like they're married to a stranger, a flirtatious game of pretend becomes the spark they need to reignite their relationship. So I'm excited. I feel like marriage in trouble romances are very few and far between, and they can either be done really, really well, or they come off really, really toxic. Like, sometimes there's a reason why a marriage doesn't work out and you really shouldn't try to force it. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see how this one stacks up. This only has 300 ratings on Amazon, and I feel like The Roughest Draft people always talk about, but I never see anyone talking about this one. So I have no idea if it's good. Maybe this was like a flop, and that's why no one talks about it. I don't know. Okay, next up, this is a YA fantasy. This is called To Kill a Kingdom. And this is actually a standalone fantasy, which I feel like is usually pretty rare. It's hard to find like a good fantasy book where it's just one book. Usually it's like a whole series and a whole world that you have to try and figure out. And this is another Little Mermaid retelling. So the female main character is part of Siren royalty, and then the male main character, he's a prince like amongst humans. She ends up getting turned into a human. I guess their lives become intertwined. Again, don't really know much about it. I try not to look up too much for these books because I wanted to be surprised when I read them. But I've been seeing a lot of people say that this is really good. So I'm excited. I've been wanting to read more fantasy lately, so I think this will be a good one for me. Next up, we have Every Summer After. People have been talking about this since last summer, and I meant to read it last summer and I just never got around to it. So this year is the year. I will not let this slip by again because everyone loves this. I believe this is Friends to Lovers because it says 6 summers to fall in love, 1 woman to fall apart, a weekend to get it right. Second chance, maybe? But also Friends to Lovers? I don't know. Those are my favorite kinds. If you say Second Chance or Friends to Lovers, I'm gonna immediately add it to my TBR. Like, I don't really need to know what else happens. I just know it's gonna be good. Okay, next one is called The Affair by Gianna Darling. And I've tried to read her motorcycle series and I wasn't a fan. But I've heard this one is really good. This is definitely another angst-filled, forbidden romance. This is very taboo, so this book is not going to be for everybody. But I know there's an age gap. I'm not sure how much the age gap is. He was older, wiser, and infinitely richer with a sophisticated girlfriend back home and no time for a holiday affair. But that was exactly what he proposed. A 7-day, no strings attached, illicit affair on the warm, sultry shores of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. That just sounds like a great time. What more could you ask for, truly? Okay, next up we have One Hot Italian Summer, a single dad romance. This is by Karina Halley. That's the author of the book I'm reading right now, A Ship of Bones and Teeth, and I'm really loving that book, so I'm excited to see how I like this one. This is totally different though than the book I'm reading now. I think I've read her other contemporary romance books before, but it was like a royalty romance of some kind, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read The Nordic King. I think that's the other book I read by this author, and I liked that one a lot, so I have a good feeling I'm gonna like this one. This is just like it sounds. I mean, who doesn't want to read about a summer vacation in Italy, honestly? Like, how could you not want to read that? Okay, this one, this has been on my TBR for a long time. This is Close Quarters by Candy Steiner. Now, I've read other books by Candy Steiner and I loved them. I think her most popular one right now is the one, the college football romance series. That's like Blindside, Fair Catch, you know, those kinds of books. And those are really good, and she's really good with her steamy, spicy scenes, so I'm excited. This one is a billionaire romance, and it takes place on a yacht. So that's kind of why I put this on my summer TBR. It says, Below Deck meets billionaire romance in this fresh and captivating romance set on a mega yacht in the Mediterranean. Oh, doesn't that just sound like the best escapism that I need? Like, I just want to escape on a yacht in the Mediterranean. Like, I don't want to be worried about my real life responsibilities. I just want to be here. I just want to be here. And I think this is like a boyfriend's boss or something like that. I think she goes on the yacht with her boyfriend, but clearly their relationship's not working out because she ends up getting with his boss instead. So, fun times. Oh, another one by Candy Steiner. Again, didn't even realize that I had 2 books by her on this list. So this is the first of a long series. I think there's like 7 books in this. Palm South University series. This is Rush by Candy Steiner. So this is a new adult college romance, and I'm just going to read you the beginning. Drama, lies, sex. Welcome to Palm South University. At a college in sunny South Florida, the weather is hot and the guys are hotter. Come on now. Come on now. She knew I was making this video. She made this for me. She made it for me. I'm convinced. So yeah, hopefully I like the first one, because then I can go through all 7 of them this summer. Like that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Okay, next one. So this one I put on here because it takes place in the summer. So the setting doesn't exactly scream like summertime vacation, but it does take place over summertime. So this is called Into the Tide by Laura Pavlov. This is a small town brother's best friend. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, it says she's only here for the summer and she says it will be our secret. It's temporary. We'll go back to being just friends at the end of the summer. That's what they all say. But yeah, I've been wanting to read this series because I've been seeing so many people talk about, well, one, this author, just period. I've been wanting to read something by her for a while, and this series in particular, a lot of people seem to like, so I'm excited. And is this the last one? I think we're at the end, folks. Okay, this is definitely, I'm probably gonna read this one next after I finish A Ship of Bones and Teeth. This is Love Me Today by A.L. Jackson. Oh, you guys, A.L. Jackson came out with a new series and I'm so pumped. She is my all-time favorite author. Yes, yes, all-time favorite. There's no debate. I don't love any author more than her. I've read every book she's ever come out with. Half of them I've read more than once. I reread them all the time. That's just like my comfort author. Like whenever I know that I need something that I like, I just pick up one of her books and I know I'm gonna be happy. So there's just something about her writing. Like I just love how poetic she is with her writing. She puts so much emotion and angst into it. Oh, it's so good, so good. So this one is Love Me Today by A.L. Jackson, a single dad, small town romance. Again, I've been trying not to read too many spoilers because I want to be surprised. So her other romances are more like on the grittier side. So like she had like a rock star romance series, and she had a series about like a motorcycle gang. You know, like they're usually kind of like not dark romances by any means, but it does have like more suspenseful, like dark content in them. But this one seems like it's a little bit lighter. So this just looks like a regular small town romance. I believe the female main character is a horse trainer, and the male main character, I don't know what he does, but I know he's a billionaire. And the book starts off with them getting into a car accident. Like I think they hit each other with their cars or something like that. So they obviously don't like each other at the beginning because they're pissed off at each other and annoyed that they, you know, are in that situation to begin with. And she ends up being the horse trainer for his daughter, I think, or something like that. So he's obviously pissed that he has to keep dealing with her, and she's pissed she has to keep dealing with him. They thought they were done with each other after the whole car accident fiasco, but then they discovered they're gonna have to be in their lives for a lot longer because the daughter is going to be going to her classes. Anything by A.L. Jackson I know I'm gonna love, so I am so pumped for this. And like I said, I'm gonna be reading this next because this just came out. And of course it came out after I already started A Ship of Bones and Teeth. So I had to wait to finish that book first before I could jump into this one. So I'm not gonna put it off any longer. As soon as I'm done with this book, that'll be the one I read next for sure. Those are all the books that are on my summer reading bucket list. I'm excited to get all the summer vibes from these reads, and I hope that you guys enjoy them too. If there are any books that I missed that you think should be on this list, you can leave them in the comments below. And like I said, I'm gonna link the list in the description of this video. That way you can read these books along with me. I will let you know my thoughts on them as I read them in future videos to come, so make sure you are subscribed and give this video a like, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.